Let's talk about Rory McIlroy and 2022. Rory McIlroy has had quite frankly an outstanding year out of nowhere. Does anyone remember his approach to the last in the Dubai Desert Classic last January? He was tied with Richard Bland and Victor Hovland and needed just a birdie on a par 5 to win it. After a smashing drive, Rory decided to go all out and attempted to get to the green in 2. He had to wait in the fairway for about 10 minutes, and when he stepped up, he sliced his fairway wood. The ball ended up in the water, and Rory had lost another tournament in Dubai that he was bound to win. 11 months later, he is world number 1, the face of the PGA along with Tiger Woods, Greg Norman and Liv Golf's biggest adversary, and he is back to his very best. So let's ask the question, was he the best golfer in the world in 2022? Can he carry this form into next year and finally win the Masters? Will he help Europe win the Ryder Cup? What about Liv Golf? Before we get into it, thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time. We seriously appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, please think about subscribing for more views, news and ramblings. Rating 2022. Admittedly, Rory got off to a very slow start in 22. After that third place in Dubai, he kind of lamented in the top 20s of most tournaments. He missed the cut in Texas a couple of weeks before the Masters, and funnily enough, that seemed to be his lowest point of the season. Rory was never really in contention at Augusta. He has this mental thing where he starts slow, like really slow, but then finishes tournaments like the best golfer in the world. This is exactly what happened at Augusta this year. Rory battled to beat the cut on Thursday and Friday, then finished second. Now 2 chip-ins really helped his cause, and he wasn't close to Scheffler during the day, but once again he has proved that he has the game for Augusta. I really think that once he wins that one, the floodgates will open in terms of major victories. Hopefully it happens soon. After that, he finishes 5th at the Wells Fargo. Could have won only for the weather. Max Homa brilliantly beat Matt Fitzpatrick here for the win. Then an 8th at the PGA Championship, a really good result at a difficult course, knocking on the door. That was the major that JT won this year. Rory wins in Canada a few weeks later, and again finishes 5th at the US Open, so close to another major. He keeps Zalatoris, Young and Fitz honest, but can't get past them. Matt Fitzpatrick wins this one, a new star is born. Then the disappointment, the heartbreak. Rory plays beautifully all weekend at the 150th Open at St Andrews. This is the time, this is the course. If you want to go down as one of the greats, you have to win here. Rory leads on the final day, him and Hovland again, just like the start of the year. Neither of them can make a breakthrough. Meanwhile, Cameron Smith and Cameron Young, just in front of them, can't miss putts. Smith steals it with an eagle birdie finish. Young gets in second, Rory third. He didn't make a bogey all day, but he just lacked the killer instinct. Heartbreak. What makes it so much worse is that the Cameron Smith to live rumours begin. A golfer with the world at his feet, throwing it all away for some extra cash. I'm sure it hurt that night and week for Rory. An 8th, a 5th, a 2nd and a 3rd in the majors this year. He doesn't seem to dwell on it so much. He goes ahead and wins the FedEx Championship from 4 shots behind Scheffler. He pockets a cool 15 mil and wins the PGA Tour's concluding event. Rory went over to Europe then. He just lost out to Wentworth to his friend Shane Lowry, inches in a putt being the only difference there. He travels to Italy to the Ryder Cup course for a 4th place finish. The Scot Bob McIntyre beating Matt Fitz in this one. He goes back over the Atlantic, wins the CJ Cup again, and then ends his year in Dubai with a T4, but the winner of the race to Dubai. Now we will leave the question up to you. Did anyone have a better season than him? DJ on Liv? Cameron Smith maybe? Scotty Scheffler? Taking it all into account, I don't think anyone had a better season. Rory versus Liv. Rory was kind of thrust into a different job this year too. He was the unofficial spokesperson for the PGA Tour in the battle against Liv Golf. Rory was pelted with questions anywhere he went this year regarding Liv and Greg Norman, or those who had made the switch. Rory stayed true to the PGA in every moment. He talked about the history on the tour and that's what made it special. He acknowledged that he is a European playing in America. He made a switch some years ago, but he honours his European events and doesn't really play America for money. He banded with Tiger and pumped up the young kids coming through. Then, when the PGA needed it the most, he moved the needle like only he can, playing brilliant golf and bringing us with him for the story. This won't end anytime soon, as Rory is constantly taking shots at Greg Norman, but along with everything else, this just adds to the fantastic year he had. A PGA Tour legend, surely. Rory in 2023. At the time of writing, Rory and Tiger have just been beaten in the match against Spieth and Thomas. How Rory responds in 23 is anyone's guess. He will return home and have a nice Christmas, then head out to Dubai to try and win what he just missed out on last year. There are two things I will be looking out for early next year. Traditionally, Rory is weak around the green. His pitches don't get close enough, and sometimes his putting isn't so strong. Now all of this comes and goes, but something to look out for. He drives the ball better than anyone on tour. What is far more important is how he starts the tournaments. If he begins next year with the same battle on Thursday and Friday, then the same kind of year or worse could be incoming. If he can get around this mental hurdle and start really well, not necessarily lead, but be in around the top 10 consistently on Thursday and Friday, well then Rory could be at his very best. Augusta is the big tournament for him, the only major he hasn't won. Early April, he will have it circled in the diary. If everything aligns, he can't be beat there. As mentioned, once he wins this, he could be chasing records. 10 majors, at least. So in conclusion, we hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Why not leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments? Subscribe to us if you want more golfing videos, and we'll see you in the next one.